Hey associates! So this video is just going to walk through the syllabus quickly. Of course, you can read it on your own, but I will be just adding a bit of explanation here and there, just to make sure that we're all set and clear for how this course is going to go, particularly being an online course. Sometimes that just presents a few more challenges with communication and clarity. So the syllabus, I have added a table of contents, which is one of the things we will be covering as far as document design and navigation. They're really, really strong elements to add to any kind of document to help with any time you need your audience to find information quickly. So certainly reference that. But otherwise, Haley.Blackburn@Colorado State is going to be the best email to reach me through. Of course, I will be on Canvas, obviously, and it sends me updates, but for quicker responses, as well as if you have any attachments, screenshots, stuff like that, sometimes the Canvas mail platform gets a little bit buggy, so I'd recommend just sending it directly to my email. And then, of course, there's the links for the course Instagram account, actually, this is for my Instagram account, and my LinkedIn page. So we can look at that. Oh no, this is the course Instagram account. Okay, so for the course Instagram right now, obviously there's not a lot on there because the semester is just starting, but every week I will be posting little updates. I'll have stories going on, particularly when it comes to things like feedback. I'll probably do a story for each of the major assignments, just reminding the whole class of what the high points and the growth areas are. And then, I'll just do little posts of what tips, tricks, things like that. So that could be helpful. And then, as far as my LinkedIn, just if you're interested, you will be doing a LinkedIn profile for this course. And so you definitely can feel free to kind of look through mine just for ideas, examples. Of course, your LinkedIn needs to reflect, your own identity and personality. So, don't necessarily treat mine as like a template or this is everything you need to do. This is just what I feel like speaks to me and my brand. But if you're also just curious about who I am, what I've done, my experiences, skills, then certainly take a look through my LinkedIn for that kind of information. All right. Boop-a-doop. Let's zoom this in a little bit. Okay, so like I said, table of contents. Here's the Instagram info. As far as my learning philosophy, basically, I value three things in the classroom and really want to foster three things. That's creativity, which is the use of original ideas. Creativity gets wrapped up a lot in obviously artistic kind of applications, but you can be creative in anything and everything, no matter your discipline and background, because it's just using some original ideas and being inspired by examples, templates, the book, the concept that you learn, and sort of applying those concepts in a way that sort of speaks true to you. And so as far as applying that in class, right, if you are looking, to get the most out of class and particularly to earn, A-level work, definitely I want you to use these class concepts to enhance documents. So be creative in the way that you apply document design, in the way that you organize, in the way that you have headings, and make sure that it's, really tailored and enhancing your particular products, which is going to look a little bit different for everyone because you all have slightly different topics and backgrounds and ideas. Second, I'm really big on self-efficacy, which is really the belief in your abilities to achieve goals. So it's slightly different than self-confidence, which, I hope that by building up your self-efficacy, your belief in your abilities, then you'll be able to have more trust in your abilities, which is more the confidence end. And so as far as self-efficacy in this class, definitely being online as well. It's really going to be on you to find and use various resources that are going to foster your own learning and tapping into the things, they're going to help you be successful. And, you all have the potential to do really well and to become strong writers, no matter what your baseline is. It just is going to be, we have lots of resources, and it's going to be you taking the feedback and thinking through the book and the concept to really enhance your work and increase your competency. And lastly, agency is a big part of my philosophy. Agency, the capacity to make choices. And so really how that applies to you in class is deciding, how to solve your problems and increase your learning kind of for yourself. So you'll see there's a lot of, there's activity options, which we'll go over. So it's on you to decide, that week, which activity you need to work on and which activity you want to do. That's going to help your learning and sort of apply to your industry and careers the most. So creativity, self-advocacy, agency, part of the philosophy, you can read more about that, but really in short, the important thing is that my role involves crafting these activities and facilitating the learning environment, primarily through feedback, particularly with an online course. So a lot of the teaching is going to actually come from the comments that I leave on your work. I'll be, leaving pretty hefty comments and doing lots of highlighting, and there's a few different ways that I provide feedback, and so that's where you're going to get the more of that learning and sort of teaching aspect. So in that way, it's a bit more individualized, actually, so that's kind of cool. But that's my job. Your job is taking advantage of these opportunities to actually grow, refine, and practice your skills. You have a lot of control. And I outline, you'll see on all the assignment sheets, the minimum requirements. So as long as you hit those minimums, you're going to get a C. And then it's really up to you how much, you want to put into it and sort of grow and learn from it beyond that. But this class is certainly one of those that is more difficult than not to fail. Most people get a B. Just by sort of doing the work. And if you want an A, then you're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to employ some self-advocacy and have a lot of agency in your work. Course objectives, really long. I made a little table. Keep in mind that things like tables and graphics can be much more helpful for readers than just a whole paragraph of text. So, there's some document design there, just keep it in mind. But basically, you're in this class to gain communication competency. So we're going to cover a lot of different genres and styles. Many of them, you might not actually need to do or know in your career, frankly, but part of being, having a strong communication competency is exposure to different genres, different styles, different documents, even if you don't feel like they're as personally relevant. It's good to just know about them, and there's always something that you can apply to then, whatever documents you do need to do. And the second big point is that this competency develops over time. And so, things that you learn in this first unit indirectly apply to things, in unit 7. And so you always want to continue building and reinforcing. Again, mostly I'm talking about document design, purpose statements, good paragraph organization, no matter if it's an email or a full-on technical report. Document design, purpose statements, paragraph organization sort of apply and enhance both documents in similar ways. So that's that. Materials, you need the textbook, a few other things. Trello is this free website and mobile app. It's sort of a digital to-do list. Check that out if you like to have that extra resource of organization. I do have a class board that is linked on Canvas. And so I'll be hoping and updating that with the items that are due. So if to-do lists or something that help you stay organized, try checking that out. I also created like a LinkedIn group that I'll post to, and there's a few people from the spring semester that are connected onto it. Maybe you can use that to connect with your associates and to just connect with other people from class and post tips and stuff. Might be helpful. And then lastly, as I showed you, we have that Instagram account. Then here's a bunch of other good resources. Check them out as you see fit. Particularly, I recommend downloading Grammarly. It's a like spell check and grammar check, but way, way better than the one Word just has integrated. So definitely, I highly recommend downloading that for your just proofreading and basic editing. Okay, expectations. Basically, every document you turn in, I want to have really good design and just strong communication principles, right? This is a specialized sort of professional technical writing class, so go ahead and practice those skills, when you're emailing and communicating with me and each other. I want you to integrate various resources to meet deadlines and due dates because they are hard deadlines. This class goes really, really fast. And so they are absolute hard deadlines. I really, we don't have the time or the flexibility and just like the space like a normal semester to really mess around with missing due dates and turning things in late. So the due date is a deadline. Welcome to journalism. And so I'm not going to accept a late work unless there's some really, really serious circumstance. That's for your logistics as well as mine in grading. I want all of your files saved as a PDF, so that way your document design stays intact. PDF works the best with the Canvas grading end. If I can't open your document, it's just going to be a 0. So make sure that you double check sort of the save file format and that you turn it in appropriately. And like I said, late assignments are just going to be a 0. It's a deadline. If you don't get it in on time, then it's just not in on time. Okay. Again, you can read through all these other things, pretty basic. Like I said, assignment submissions, PDF, you go to 0. If it's an incorrect format, meaning I can't open it. So this is particularly for Mac users, that Pages extension that sometimes Mac likes to save in, if you're not using Word especially, does not open on Canvas. And so save your work as a PDF, right? It's the most universally sort of accepted. So even in the workplace, documents, if it's a PDF, that everybody will be able to open your document. So it's just a really good format to save it in. Otherwise, Word still, or Microsoft Office products still reign supreme in most businesses. Even if they're using Macs for their work, they'll have, Office for Mac and still saving things in Microsoft Office and Word format. So also use that. You can download that software with your student ID from the library. Kind of ask and check that out if you don't have it already, but otherwise save as a PDF and we'll be good to go. Don't cheat. I've caught several students over my time teaching, and it's just a lot of work for me, and it sucks for them. And so just do your own work, right? Writing, I know, can be a little bit of a drag sometimes for some of you, but really, most of these assignments are actually really short because workplace documents tend to be shorter, with the exception of your big final project. So just do the work, Okay, grading. Here's a few kind of key important things. I also have another video linked on Canvas that goes much more in depth into the comprehensive grading format, so I won't worry about it too much. But just know, instead of those traditional point per section rubrics, where I'd say 3 points for the introduction, etc., I just do it in a total comprehensive way. So I go through the whole document, making comments and using the color coding system. And then at the end, I sort of determine how well the whole document works together to achieve the goals and evaluate you that way. So make sure that you click on that green view feedback button on Canvas, because again, that's where the bulk of your teaching and learning is going to come from. It's my very specific comments on your document. If you don't click view feedback, you'll only see the paragraph that I leave, and it's just not going to be as helpful, and you might feel more lost is why you receive that grade. So definitely read that. And if you miss any of the required elements, you're gonna cap out at a D, because pretend we're at work, your boss asked for this project. They don't have a lot of guidelines, but they have a few specific things that they expect you to do as part of your job. If you're not doing those few things, then why are you even here at work? So like you said, every assignment will have, there's usually 2 to for required elements, make sure if nothing else, you're running out of time, just get those required elements in. So at least, you can get like a C, or, yeah, it obviously depends, but at least you can get like a C. But if you're missing any of the requirements, you will get a D. So always double check those. All right, so the biggest kind of thing that might be different from grades you're used to getting is that I go off of, A's are reserved for truly like excellent work. This isn't one of those places where you just sort of do everything and that's an A. Like, no, you'll get like a B probably if you have everything done and it's solid, but if you want an A, then you really need to rise above and provide A level effort and work. So I kind of think about it in more of a performance evaluation that you may see in the workplace or have seen for those of you who already hold positions and jobs. So you can kind of think of like full points, rare, but it totally happens. That's sort of me nitpicking your work. And that's going to be worth like a big promotion. It's like, wow, you are so amazing here and underpaid, and we're going to promote you immediately. A-level work is sort of worth a raise. You're definitely sort of surprising and amazing your boss. They're really happy they hired you. You're performing above the level, and that's going to be work that demonstrates really clear competency in like all the course elements. B-level work is basically showing up and doing what you're paid to do. It's like you're doing your job. It's not bad. Like B is not a bad grade by any means. B is really solid. It's above average. You're on the right track. You're doing what you're supposed to do, but not really anything more. So if you are getting consistent B's and you'd like to jump up to that A level, just really go back and make sure you're leaving enough time to revise your work, that you are using document design as much as appropriate, and that you're really focusing on how your reader is going to use and interpret the materials, and just taking that extra time to put in those little details of effort to get an A. And then C-level work, if it fills some other objectives, but there's some really big issues in it, or pieces missing, or things that are really hurting the effectiveness of it. And so, this is the type of work that your boss might say like, ooh, that is really not what we were expecting from you. They're going to call you into the office, probably have some additional training, right? And then, of course, D-level work is just really unacceptable. And if you get D's in the workplace, then, they're going to hire somebody else who is going to be a B or an A-level employee. So yeah, you can read more about that. I also go through and do color coding. Since this is a writing course, it's really kind of more efficient for both me and helpful for you, I think. I mark up the whole document with just color coding, so you can kind of see that. So green, bright spots, things you should continue doing. Great job, love this. Red, is an error, particularly for grammar and mechanics is what the red is mostly going to be. Yellow is just note and growth areas, and so if you see a lot of yellow, definitely read those comments because those are issues that need to be addressed. Orange is kind of going to be a document specific thing, and I'll let you know, in the comments what orange means. Blue is clarity concern, so anytime you see blue sentences, it's because I had to reread that sentence to understand what you meant, or it's really long, it needs to be revised and concise down, that kind of stuff. And then purple is a little bit more specific, but it's really good places where you use things like support for your information, data, citations. That will come into play more on the back end of the semester. So yeah, basically if you want to earn like A's or really high scores on your assignments, create documents that are inspired by the instructions to meet the objectives. What I mean there is, don't just do a basic template or just copy the examples. You don't need to take a class to copy, and you don't get paid the big bucks to just copy work because interns can copy, right? Instead, right, I want you to be able to see the instructions, anticipate, what your reader is going to need, and then execute a really good document based on that. Definitely take the time to draft, revise, and polish your work. right? A-level work are the papers and documents that have those little details that really have very few improvements, or in my comments, or sort of lateral revisions. And that, honestly, writing, there's not really a big secret. It just takes time is kind of the thing. And then, of course, submit your work on time. Again, late assignments are going to be a 0. This is a fast-paced course. Get it done. All right, so here's our schedule. I won't go through all of it because you can see, but basically the assignments that you have due each week are going to be in this column. So that's like the important thing to really pay attention to. Here's your readings. Obviously, you took an online course because you want to go at your own pace, but make sure that you actually are doing the readings, because our lectures are very, very brief compared to, like the 50 minutes and time for a discussion that we would have. So it's important that you are taking the time to kind of read. But basically what will happen is every week you'll have like at least, or there's a few like other things, but 2 assignments due each week. So the first is going to be an activity that are due on Wednesdays at midnight. So pretty much every Wednesday until sort of the end of the course, you'll have something due Wednesdays at midnight. And with these activities, you have to do the activity. You'll be able to choose, for example, this first week, right? You either have an ethics related assignment or an audience related assignment. Choose whichever one you want to work on the most, and do that. And then you need to, it's posted to a discussion thread, so you need to respond to 2 of your associates' work. Basically, just like feedback, critique, interesting question. Just give a response, and it needs to be a bit of a robust response. Aim for a few sentences, a paragraph, something that's really going to help them. And so that is due Wednesdays at midnight. Right, so your activity plus you need to respond to 2 of your classmates Wednesday at midnight. Okay, and then every week you'll also have a major assignment due Saturdays at 1 p.m. Right, so it is Saturday 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. It's basically for kind of 2 reasons. First, on my end, I just got a job, but it will take up obviously some of the work week. So I want to be able to grade a lot of your work on the weekends, so I can keep up. So Saturdays 1 p.m. gives me some time to look over it Saturday night, do a lot of grading on Sunday, and hopefully have everything wrapped up by like Tuesday morning. So that's one reason on my end. And then also I have things due Saturday at 1 p.m. so that way, you can just kind of take Sundays off, right? This will be done, and you can have a little break before sort of we start again on Monday. I mean, of course, everything is open and accessible to you on Canvas, so you can work ahead if you want to, but that's kind of like a pacing thing. So Saturdays 1 p.m., Wednesdays midnight. And then there's like a few exceptions, like the midterms are going to be due Mondays at midnight, and the final exam Monday at midnight. So just kind of keep up with the schedule. And then, of course, here's just additional due dates, so you can reference this again. They'll also be in your, to-do list on Canvas and on Trello. I'll remind you on Instagram, but here's another place with the due dates. All right, so that has been a little walkthrough of the syllabus. Of course, shoot me an email if you have any questions, concerns. Let's stay in contact. DM me on our Instagram account for quick questions, and we can have more of a chat and less of an email. Whatever you need. I look forward to a great semester. Bye.